You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Oh, the curtain lights. This is it. We'll hit the heights. And oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show. This is it.
Yes, it is. The show is about to begin. And did you hear what CBS just said? Those evil drone people. They may have gotten a picture of the president working. Now that would be news. That would be news. A drone is flown close to the White House. That's not news. That is not news. The White House blew up. That would be news. Not some drone that may take a picture. Whoopee, woohoo, wee-hee. Are you ready? It is Friday. You're listening to the Mr. Judd Show. Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You know all the many ways that you can listen to us. But I want you to go to Twitter. And I want you to actually go to the Hot News Talk Radio Twitter page. Okay? And you might say, well, Mr. Judd, why should I do that? Because I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to give you a heads up. There's a video on there about what happened in Red Bank. You probably heard it all over the news. What I want you to do is watch that video. Because next Wednesday, the SmackDown is coming. The SmackDown will happen at 2 o'clock next Wednesday on this radio station. Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. It's going to be the good guys versus the bad guys. Go ahead and watch it. Kind of see which way you're leaning. And it is going to be something you don't want to miss. This portion of my show is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. We'd like to thank Marco's yesterday for providing some much-needed nourishment to the radio station here. We had the Deluxe Uno. Oh, man, I'm going to tell you what a good piece. I mean, just delicious pizza. I'd like to thank Marco's out there. Now, they're in Hickson, and I can give you the address. You won't remember it, or you might, be looking around and never find it, but it's easy to find. Do you know if you're going north on Hickson Pike from 153, where you turn to go to the Hickson High School, Middle Valley Road there, that's where it is, right there at Hickson Pike, Middle Valley Road. I'll give it to you in Chattanooga terms. You know where the old Golden Gallon used to be? Well, they've taken that building and they've redone it. And man, I'm going to tell you, we had the Uno Deluxe and it had sausage and pepperoni. Oh, man, I'm getting hungry again thinking about it. So give those guys a call down there. It also had, mushrooms and onions and peppers. Oh, it's delicious. Give them a call at 423-362-8300. That's 423-362-8300. They'll deliver. Or maybe you just want to get away and get out of the office. Maybe you want to get away from the high school for a while and you want to slide over to Marco's and have you some delicious pizza. So get over there and enjoy that pizza. Once again, it's Marco's Pizza. Man, it's good. I mean, it's good. Stuff pretty much goes quick here at the radio station, especially food. But that pizza, I don't think the box got all the way in the door before it was gone. It was absolutely delicious. All right, let's see what's going on. We are going to talk some sports here. Probably in the last half hour of the show, because I want to, we got some SEC games coming up we need to talk a little bit about. And then, of course, we got some high school things, football coming up that we want to talk about. But just kind of looking at some of the headlines here in Chattanooga, and this is still one of the most amazing things to me, and especially after being in real estate. It says Chattanooga Neighborhood Enterprises, C&E, shows off its first tiny home. And this is from WDF. Now, these tiny homes, I think they're a fad. I really do. I think it's a fad because you can't hardly turn on any any television station these days without seeing some kind of tiny home nation, tiny home this, tiny home that. And all these people are moving from a 2,000 square foot house to a 400 square foot house. Just flipping around the other day, I see where this family of 4 with a dog They are moving from a 1,900 square foot house to a 230 square foot house. Now, I want to do a follow-up with all these things. Now, I'd love to do a follow-up. I mean, can you imagine a family of 4? They had 2 small kids, too, you know, and they homeschool. So you're going to be in 200 square foot, 24/7. Boy, that should make for one happy family. One happy family. Isn't that incredible? I mean, how would you like to take your family? And I'm all for, I mean, I know it's a fad and it's a phase, and these people were spouting off how, you know, they're helping the environment because our footprint's going to be lower. Yeah, your footprint's going to be lower, but you're going to be so unhappy. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to be that unhappy? You know, I mean, those kids, they need some space to roam around. They need some space that is their own. Mom and dad need some space, that getaway space. Why do you want to live in a 200 square foot house? And this was on wheels, so I guess you can move it. You know, so basically you're living in an RV, or you live in a camper trailer. Why don't you just go get a camper trailer instead? I mean, these people, they were spending $90,000 on a trailer. You know, my goodness. I mean, I just, you know, do they not ever think about, you know, this sounds cool. Oh, it sounds cool. And we're going to get rid of this and get rid of that. And we're going to wear the same shirt every day. And, you know, we wash our clothes as we shower because we don't have a room for a washer and dryer. And we really don't have room for a shower. I mean, one of them I was watching, their bathroom, you had to physically go out of the house, and the bathroom was enclosed. But, and they lived like somewhere up north. Can you imagine January's? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Well, I got to go to the bathroom. It's too dang cold to go outside. I mean, I just don't think these people are thinking this through. I think it's a cool thing to do. I live in a tiny house. And so we have one in Chattanooga now. So and I think this is a rental. They say it's a prototype. Really? But I think they're going to use it as a rental. So I just thought that was some pretty good Chattanooga news. 2 years after the fad has begun, and we get it here in Chattanooga. So, I mean, it's just calling all future homeowners. There's a tiny house on the market. I don't get it. You know, everyone, remember, you know, you start out in your first place, you usually move in an apartment, you're talking about how small it is. And so then you go out and you have a family. So you add another person to you, and then probably 1 or 2 other people to you. And you say, remember that small 900 square foot apartment I had? Well, I'd like to go maybe half of that and add more people to it. And man, am I going to have a happy life? I just don't get this at all. Do not get this at all. How would you like to live in Seattle? Well, if you look like me, a white man, I couldn't take yoga at a place. That's right. This is from InfoWars. No whites allowed. Seattle yoga classes for people of color and excludes Caucasians. What? I mean, what in the HELL is going on? Why? Why would you want to? I'm guessing, just guessing, that there are more Caucasians doing yoga than people of color. That's just I'm just taking a guess. So why exclude probably the largest segment of your business? In fact, I think it's one of these feel-good things. Of course, it's Seattle. What do you expect? It's just one of these feel-good things. A yoga studio in Seattle is accused of promoting racial discrimination by holding special sessions with excludes whites. They exclude whites. So they're having these special yoga classes, no whites allowed. I don't think that's racial discrimination at all. You know what I think it is? I think it's stupidity. Because if you have a business, you have to have money coming into the business to operate. So I'm going to exclude probably the largest part of my clientele. But I feel better about myself because I am promoting and I am being politically correct, which we're probably going to get into and talk about. Dr. Ben Carson's catching it right now, and because he's not politically correct. He's probably the most unpolitically correct candidate there is out there, and that's without him saying a word, and we're going to get into that too. we got to talk about SEC football. One big game that I know of, and that's Tennessee, Georgia. Of course, I think there's another big game that's just right down the road from us here in Alabama, as Bama takes on my beloved Razorbacks. And we'll go through the SEC schedule just so you know what's going on there. And then we need to touch on the high school football. I think it's very important to support your high school football team, even if you don't have a child playing there, you don't have a child going to school there, they're not in the band or anything. Just get out, do something different on a Friday night, and enjoy a good high school football game. We're going to hit some of the highlights of that also, as well as, I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got stuff left over from Monday. It's okay to eat leftovers. Sometimes leftovers are the best. Sits in the refrigerator, gets all marinated good. It's on my computer. It's getting marinated good. It's going to be as good as those pizzas at Marco's. Don't forget to go by there. Do not forget to go by Marco's. Right there as you turn to go to the high school in Hickson. Can't miss it.
You expect lots of clouds to start out your Friday. Another warm day, high 78 to 80 with scattered showers and thunder showers marching in from the west late. Tonight, any showers quickly diminishing, lows 58 to 60. For the weekend, drying out and cooling down with highs 70 to 73. Check out Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. To see how much you could save, call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. And I'm WDEF News Falls Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
The Fed raising rates, China's economy in trouble. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Patrick Neal. At Edward Jones, we provide the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Stop by my office next to the Target Shopping Center in Hickson, or call me at 423-870-7894. That's Patrick Neal at 870-7894. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Here you are, working to keep your customers happy and to manage your cash flow. IRS problems are the last thing you need, but here they are, flapping about you like vultures. Get help from Eric Pelton and his team of accountants at E.J. Pelton Company. Audits, letters, proposed return changes, 1099s, penalty threats. Pelton Tax Resolution Services brings peace of mind and helps you keep more of what you've earned. EJPelton.com. Offices on Brainerd Road and in Saudi Daisy, just north of the Bilo. That's E.J. Pelton. Call 622-3156. Think ahead. 622-3156.
Hey, all you gun enthusiasts! Carter Shooting Supply has just bought a crazy load of guns and is having a crazy huge sale event. Going on now, a huge inventory of Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, and Taurus, all on sale. Taurus guns have a mail-in rebate for $25 to $50. All long guns and all ammo on sale, too, just in time for hunting season. Come in and take advantage of this crazy huge sale event. Going on now at Carter Shooting Supply. Or shop from home by going to CarterShootingSupply.com. Highway 58, Harrison. Check our prices before you buy.
Are you tired of working in corporate America, or have you recently lost your job and would like to consider owning your own business? If you are, please call me, as I can help you look at franchises or business opportunities that fit you, the economy that we're in, and the type of businesses that are right in the greater Chattanooga area. After I help my clients find the right opportunity, I also help them find the best way to finance the business, including paying yourself through the startup phase. If you would like to learn more about opportunities that may be right for you, please call me for a free assessment. My name is Bruce Krebs at the Entrepreneur Source. Phone number is 423-875-5621.
If you have the DTs, the shakes, because your phone is on the fritz, you have nomophobia. You need help. Your telecom doctor is in. Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall. Cell Surgeon yanks open the ribcage of your phone, pries out the dead heart, and puts in the beating life that you lead on your cell phone. Broken screen, phone not charging, water damage, battery given out? Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza. Check us out on Facebook. Open Sunday. Cell Surgeon. We bring your phone back to life. Mention Hot News Talk Radio and get 10% off.
This is America Now with Meghan McCain.
Al Gore running is crazy. You're flying around in your private jet all over the world, and you want average Americans to care about the environment. Don't you think you should be doing your part as well?
Meghan McCain, weekdays at 7 p.m.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
On a Friday to boot. Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. I hope you went to Twitter. I want you to go to Twitter and look, and you need to scroll down. We're going to have a big, huge, it's a SmackDown is what it is. And I mean, here's the deal. On this radio station, we have some great hosts. We have David Tulis in the morning. Without a doubt, I can say it, one of the smartest men in this city, in my opinion. Regardless, I don't care if you're in the newspaper business or what kind of business you're in. Okay, we have him, 9 to 11. He's our man. We got the sexiest man on radio, 11 to noon. That's me. We have the digital drive with the adolescent from noon to 1. And then we have our sports dude. I mean, our sports dude, kicking butt and taking names. Keon Rose on clutch. That's from 1 to 2. Then, we got this guy, you may or may not know him, Sean Hannity, from 3 to 5. And then, of course, we have our news director, Russell Stroud, who comes in, and he does a great news hour from 5 to 6. And then Tex, Cowboy Up with Tex, is from 6 to 7. Okay, I'm not telling you that, just so you'll listen, because I know you're going to listen regardless. But then we have Confederate Mike. Now, Confederate Mike, he kind of comes in here, and he's kind of like a tornado. When you don't want him, all of a sudden it's here, and then you spend the next 30 minutes cleaning up after him. But the smackdown has been laid down. Now here, and this has to do with the Red Bank police officer. And you got to go to our Twitter, Hot News Talk Radio, on Twitter, and watch the video for yourself. But the smackdown, see, here's what happened. David Tulis will get a little uppity on you and kind of get in your face about things. Well, then, Russell Stroud, our news director, kind of jumps in there with David too. And they kind of mirror each other. Well, they was jumping on poor Confederate Mike. And I said, you need some help, Mike. And then Tex, and only the way Tex can do, gets in my face and says, you better stay out of this. Well, brother, then it was on. And then Keon, the sports guy, he gets with all of the propaganda that Tulis and Tex and Stroud have. He gets caught up in that moment. So it's going to be me, and it's going to be Confederate Mike. And I'm going to tell you, it takes 4 of them to counter us. And they're saying this debate's going to be an hour long. If it lasts 5 minutes, I'll be surprised. Because we will send them off like a scalded dog. If you hear a loud noise and gnashing of teeth and whining and crying, you know that those 4 have messed with the wrong 2. That's going to be Wednesday at 2 p.m. right here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You know what else is happening next week? Now, this is, to me, this is for a great cause. If you want an evening of fun, an evening of music, and most of all, an evening of food, then you need to get to Harvest Grocery. You know where it's at. It's right there on Hickson Pike. You're going north on Hickson Pike. When you cross the bridge there on the right where the old Bilo is, right there. Beautiful facility. Just go in there and look around. It's great. But on October the 15th from 5:30 to 8 p.m., they're doing something that's very nice. It's Can for Cadence, and it's benefiting the Chattanooga Symphony and Opera and the Chattanooga Area Food Bank. Now listen to this. This is a bargain for $30. That's nothing. $30. You're going to get product samples. You can get food, wine. They're going to have giveaways, all kinds of stuff. And they're making this a whole week thing. Then on that Saturday, the 17th, that's when they're having their big Harvest Fest. And we're going to be there. We're going to be there handing out our tune-in cards, which is very important. You want to win some prizes? Then you need to be down there. That's going to be Saturday the 17th. It's from 11 a.m. to 4 right there at Harvest Grocery. You have all kinds of stuff. They have a petting zoo. Now, we'll have to keep Tex away from the petting zoo. He'll be roping and wrangling. Some of the kids will be in awe of his roping skills there at the petting zoo. But they have live music, local artists. They have dollar brats. If you don't want to come for anything else, you need to come get your dollar brats and 20% off most things in the store. So we're looking forward to being a part of that. I think that's going to be just a great time, a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. And then, by then, after that, the SmackDowns happen. And then after that, I mean, it's, this SmackDown is going to be Be something to see. Don't forget this weekend, NASCAR, which is normally on Sunday, is going to be Saturday night at 7:30. You can listen to it on the only NASCAR station here in Chattanooga. We are the exclusive, and that's Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You like NFL football? We've got a doubleheader on Sunday. Starts at 12:45. I mean, you can't miss that at 12:30. Then at 3:45, we have the Patriots is going to go into Dallas, and they're going to beat the living heck out of the Dallas Cowboys. So 3:45, we have the Patriots and the Cowboys. And then at 12:30, kick it off. I mean, you've got New Orleans and you have Philadelphia, and New Orleans just come off a big win. They beat Dallas. Philadelphia just come off a big win. So this ought to be a lot of fun. You know, if you're looking for sports, we have it here on the weekends. We even have some Thursday night football and Monday night football. And don't forget to set the hook with Pat Rose on Saturday mornings. Wake up with a smile in your face. Just wake up and listen to Pat give his unique take on wrestling and bass fishing. Kind of let you know what happened last Saturday in the pouring rain, about 7:30 in the morning. I had left to actually come over to the radio station. I had to pick up some things. I thought I'll get it done early. And on my way, as I was leaving my house, I live in a cul-de-sac, and as I went around the corner, I see something that to me looked out of place and unusual. So I slow down to see it. And you got to remember, it's 7:15 in the morning on a rainy day. It's still dark outside. I hadn't been up long. I was sober. Don't even start. See, that's the first thing Russell Stroud says in my ears. Are you sober? I don't even want to hear that. Yes, I was sober, at least in one eye. And so I'm getting ready to leave. And, you know, as I leave, like I said, it's raining. I mean, at that time in the morning, it was raining hard. I mean, they rained so hard, they canceled the air show. If you remember last Saturday, we were supposed to have flash floods and all of that. So as I leave, well, I tell you what, just hang on a second. We'll finish this in just a second, because I want you to hear this, because then it ties into what happened last night. I mean, I'm a busy man. You know, I don't have time like everybody else to be sleeping. I'm out saving the world. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio. My name is Eric Judd, and you're listening to the Mr. Judd Show.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
Expect lots of clouds to start out your Friday. Another warm day, high 78 to 80 with scattered showers and thunder showers marching in from the west late. Tonight, any showers quickly diminishing, lows 58 to 60. For the weekend, drying out and cooling down with highs 70 to 73. Check out Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. To see how much you could save, call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. And I'm WDEF News Swallow's Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Social media, we're on that. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook, at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Download the TuneIn app and follow us anywhere at any time. AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, and myself for all the action.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably run for president of the southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd have had it made.
NASCAR, Laura Ingraham, David Tulis, Coast to Coast AM, and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. What started as a fight between two groups of college students leaves one dead, another in police custody.
Be awake this morning to a terrible tragedy. That's Northern Arizona University President Rita Chang. NAU Police Chief Greg Fowler says officers were called to a dorm parking lot around 1:20 a.m. local time. Information on the injured students' conditions hasn't been released. Classes will go on today as planned.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. The Lone Star State taking aim at Volkswagen for its emissions cheating scandal.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton charges the emissions rigging violated state consumer protection laws and clean air standards. He plans to seek restitution for consumers and an injunction, civil penalties to prohibit future violations.
Fox Radio's Joe Chiaro, and wholesale stockpiles rising in August with less demand for things like autos and machinery. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Should I or shouldn't I leave them on or take them off?
Take it on. Take it all on.
Are you sure? Should I take it all off?
Nothing takes it off like.
Nothing takes it off like the Mr. Judd Show. You listen to Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. And just kind of bring you up what we've been talking about so far is the big smackdown that's going to happen next Wednesday. And we need you to go to Twitter and go ahead and watch this video so you can get ready. They say it's going to last an hour. I say 5 minutes. I say 5 minutes, 2 o'clock on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. The big smackdown coming as we're going to get into the controversial video from the Red Bank arrest of 2 human beings. We'll put it that way. This hour is brought to, or this segment is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. Make sure you get by Marco's today. They're right there on Hickson Pike. Some of the best pizza and other items as far as they've got some great sandwiches too. Maybe you don't want pizza. Maybe you want just a good sandwich, just a good solid sandwich to get your Friday going. Give them a call, 423-362-8300. That's 423-362-8300. Or just stop in there, and it's right off Hickson Pike. It's right there at Middle Valley and Hickson Pike. You can't miss it. You cannot miss it. It's where the old Golden Gallon used to be. We had some Marco's Pizza yesterday here at the radio studio, and I mean, it's absolutely delicious. Okay, as I was saying before the break, before Fox News interrupted me, that danged old Fox News. So Saturday morning, it's raining. I mean, pouring. It's dark. It's about 7:15. We've already gone through the thing if I was sober or not. I'm leaving the house, and as I leave, I go around the corner, and my neighbor around the corner has a motorcycle, and a lot of time he keeps it on his trailer. And I noticed that there was a car that I haven't seen before. It was actually either a black or dark blue Jeep Liberty. And there were 2 gentlemen trying to put connect the trailer to there. And I thought, our first thing was, man, this is crazy. Who'd want to go ride a motorcycle in this weather? Well, one of the gentlemen kind of looked at me, and I'm guessing he was a little under 6 foot, maybe over 40, bald-headed. And I didn't think anything else about it. I thought, man, that's odd. But, people that love motorcycles, they're going to ride their motorcycle anyway. So anyway, I come over to the station, do what I have to do. I get back, pay no more attention to it. Well, last night, the neighbor that lives across the street was chatting with him, and he said, man, you'll never believe, but, and the people that I'm talking about where they were loading the motorcycle lives right next to him. And he called their name, and I'm not going to use their name on the air. And he said, they had their motorcycles stolen. And I said, what? And he said, yes. And I said, when was it? And he said, they don't know. They noticed that it was gone Saturday. I said, well, I think I saw the people that were stealing it. And lo and behold, Mr. Judd strikes again. Yes, I did. I saw the people. They were actually taking the motorcycle and, gave them some good information, gave them the time that I saw, which was important. I didn't get the vehicle license plate, but I did get the description of the vehicle and gave them kind of a description of the one man I saw. So, here, just a man of the people here going out and helping people all over this planet. That's what I do. That's just the kind of person I am. And that is what I do. All right. What else I do is I'm going to give you, let's talk about a little high school football. Okay. Now, last week was a huge week. You had Macaulay, Baylor. You just had some big games, and there are some big games this week. I'm going to say the biggest game is the Whitwell Tigers will be at South Pittsburgh. Now, this is always, I don't care. They both can be 0-6 or 0-8 when they meet, but this is always a big, big game, and it's a lot of pride there. Whoever wins this game gets to brag in that region. And if you don't think football's big in that area, you need to go to one of these games. This is one of those must games that you need to go to. You need to go to a Baylor Macaulay game. You need to go to a Whitwell South Pittsburgh game. It's big. Let's see what else we got. We got Boyd Buchanan, who's having a great year. They're 6-0. They're going to face off against Meigs County. Meigs County actually comes to Boyd Buchanan this week. And then we're guaranteed to have someone that is going to – this game is going to probably make their season, and that's Central travels to Hickson. Now, Central is 0-6. Hickson is 0-6. So unless they tie – one of these guys are going to come out with a win, and man, one of these teams are just going to be happy as they can be. Silverdale, who's having a great year, they face off against Marion County, and I'll tell you, Marion County's good. They are good this year, so Silverdale's going to have all that they want to tonight. Some other big ones around the White County Warriors come to Ottawa, and this is a big region game for them. Ottawa's got a pretty good team, and but they're in that Maryville region, and Maryville seems to, Ottawa does good until they get to Maryville, and then boom, it seems to be over. Walker Valley will be at Soddy Daisy. Now that's another big game. Soddy Daisy's having a pretty good year. They're 4-2. They're 2-1 in the region. Walker Valley's 1-1 in the region. So it's a pretty important game to keep playoff hopes alive there. So that's just a few that we have. And get out. I mean, I know they're calling for rain, and I know they're calling for bad weather, but I think it's probably going to hold off for a while. So just make sure you get out and support your local team. Like I said before, if you don't have a child there, or maybe your kids went there and they're gone or whatever, just get out and support your local team. All right. What about the SEC? Well, Ole Miss, they need this game. They need New Mexico State to come back after getting shellacked by Florida. They need somebody to beat up on so they can feel better. LSU at South Carolina was supposed to be a home game at South Carolina, but due to all the floodings and all, it's going to be at LSU. So that doesn't help the Gamecocks at all. Then, of course, Georgia at Tennessee. Both programs need a win. Georgia needs a win to kind of get back on that footing and still be considered maybe in the national championship hunt. Tennessee needs a win to stop the bleeding. I mean, if Tennessee loses, they would start 0-3 in the East, and that's just not what they want to do. They're like Arkansas. They need a win. Mississippi State invites Troy into town because they need someone to really beat up on good. Arkansas at Alabama. Now, this is another one where, Arkansas needs a win. I mean, Arkansas still has a losing record, 2-3 for the year. Surprise to a lot of people, surprise to me. And, it's going to be hard to get right on track with Alabama. The only thing is, both of these teams are designed to play each other. They both run pro-style offense, and their defense is set up to stop the run. So I think it's a 17-point line. I think Arkansas keeps it within that 17. And if Arkansas won, of course, it'd make me just happier than, I don't know what, but it wouldn't surprise me. Now, if they get blown out, it wouldn't surprise me either. The most interesting game, though, I think is Florida traveling to Missouri. I mean, Florida is just having an outstanding year. Missouri is coming off a loss at Kentucky, but they bounced back against South Carolina. Florida actually going to Missouri. Missouri, a freshman quarterback. Florida's defense is awesome, but how are they going to play after that huge upset of Ole Miss at home? I think that's going to be a very, very intriguing game. So there are still some good games out there. I know some of the weeks they seem to fall off in the SEC when they bring in the likes of Troy and New Mexico State and stuff like that. But you need those, to kind of right your ship. And plus you got to have someone to play for homecoming. So I'm sure that's what most of that is about. So get out and support your local college football team. We have NFL football here at Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. This Sunday, we've got a doubleheader. We have the Saints versus the Eagles. That's at 12:30. We have the Patriots versus the Cowboys at 3:45. Don't forget, now NASCAR is Saturday night, starts at 7:30. It's going to be run out of Charlotte. This is the first of the next 3 races where after the 3rd race, it's eliminating down to 8. So this is an important race for all. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio. After me is the Digital Drive, and the adolescent, I said, what are you going to be talking about today on the Digital Drive? And he said, perfume. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, perfume. And I said, what is digital about perfume? You know, what's techie about perfume? He says, oh, nothing. He said, I just like the way it smells. So this should be an interesting show. His take on perfume and how he ties it in to the tech world, as always. And then Clutch with Keon Rose. Now let me tell you something about Clutch. It's a sports show. It's the first local sports show in Chattanooga. The other ones don't start till you start driving home. But you need that break during the day. You know, sometimes you got to get up and get a Coke or a glass of water about 1:10 to kind of wake up after lunch because you've overeaten and you don't want to fall into some kind of food coma. Here is your shot of sports caffeine at 1 o'clock from 1 to 2. Keon does a great job. We have Sean Hannity from 3 to 5. And then at 5, we have the only local news show from 5 to 6. We're going to give you traffic. We're going to give you local news. We're going to give you weather. You want to get home as quick as you can. It's Friday. Happy Friday. So make sure you listen to Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. And then our Cowboy up with Tex from 6 to 7. You know where he is. You know how his take, the Texas take on things. It's Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect lots of clouds to start out your Friday. Another warm day, high 78 to 80 with scattered showers and thunder showers marching in from the west late. Tonight, 80 showers quickly diminishing, lows 58 to 60. For the weekend, drying out and cooling down with highs 70 to 73. Check out Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. To see how much you could save, call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. And I'm WDEF News Swallow's chief meteorologist, Patrick Core. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
This is Judy Gammon, author of the award-winning book, Age to Perfection, How to Thrive to 100, Happy, Healthy, and Wise. And this is your Stay Young Medical Minute. Each day I bring you one new tip that will help you stay young and stay vibrant. Most people don't think about arthritis. They think it's an old person's problem, but the reality is it affects people of all ages. 21% of adults have some form of arthritis, and 2/3 of arthritis patients are under the age of 65. If you suffer from arthritis, there are things you can do to improve your symptoms. Exercising in water increases your mobility, and it's been proven to reduce pain, stiffness, and swelling without causing more damage to the joint. Now, if you have access to a pool, I want you to swim at least 3 times a week. This will help oil the gears, so to speak. Also, eating a diet in vitamin C and omega-3 fatty acids can also help ease the symptoms of arthritis. If your joints swell or if you have trouble moving around like you used to, talk to your doctor about ways that you can protect your joints and stay flexible and mobile. Be careful of starting a prescription regimen that can cause other issues, and instead opt for more natural remedies like supplements and appropriate exercise. We want to empower you with as much health information as possible. Visit StayYoungAmerica.com for free podcasts of the Staying Young radio show and free medical minutes, just like these. Go to StayYoungAmerica.com.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Are you tired of feeling like just another account number to your financial advisor? Try something refreshingly different. Call Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Patrick Neal, in Hickson at 870-7894. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
That smells so good. Smells like a big Italian dinner.
but you're going to walk out with two. Buy one hot pizza, get a one for free. Two pizzas. You got the two for the price of one at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. My favorite Italian restaurant of all the time. Now, I'm living in Hicks, and I go to Raphael's right down the street in Hicks and Pike, right near Highland Plaza. You're in Starry Daisy? Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria in Starry Daisy. Just next to Starry Daisy Church of God. Hey, you're on Signal Mountain. There's a Raphael's Italian Restaurant and a Pizzeria. It's right on the main drag. You're going to love the pasta, the pizza. Buy one hot pizza, get a one for free. Two pizzas. You got the two for the price of one at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Tastes so good. Bring the whole family. Come on, Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Mangia. Salute.
Social media, we're on that. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook, at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Download the TuneIn app and follow us anywhere at any time. AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Absolutely it is. On Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You know what? You can go to YouTube right now. You can see my bright and smiley face. But here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hot News Talk Radio, because on Wednesday, you want to watch. Not only do you want to hear, but you want to watch the Smackdown. That's right. Police brutality or justified actions. That's what it's going to be about. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you a little homework over the weekend. Go to Twitter, okay? Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter, on our Twitter page. You won't have to go too far down. There's a video. There's a video that we're going to be discussing. It's going to start out as a discussion, and then we're going to end up rolling them like an old nasty rug and throwing them out the door. That's what's going to happen. It's me, Confederate Mike. We only need two. But David Tulis and Russell and Tex and Keon, they got to all band together. It'd be a Smackdown. That's Wednesday, 2 p.m. here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. This part of the Mr. Judd Show is brought to you by Harvest Fest. Hey, what is Harvest Fest? That sounds fun. It's going to be the 17th of October. And it's going to be at Harvest Grocery. It's going to be in their parking lot where they're going to have all kind of vendors. I mean, they're going to have face painting, yard games, beer. Hey, there you go. You know I'm going to be there. We may even fly that dreaded drone. Maybe I can get the drone that actually scared the president today. If he had a gun, he wouldn't be scared. Oh, that's right. He's going to Oregon and upsetting all those people and telling them how bad guns are, even though we have laws against murder, but that didn't deter him. Anyway, Harvest Fest. It's going to start from 11 to 4, and that's going to be next Saturday. And, you know, it's really for the whole family. It's a chance for you to go in and see a magnificent store that's owned locally, just like this radio station, owned locally. And, I mean, you know, they have such good organic food in there. They're going to be displaying all kinds of stuff. They're going to show you that you know, they just, I mean, it is very good. They have over 25 vendors. They're going to have a petting zoo, not in the store. The petting zoo will be out in the parking lot. And you know what? Tex is supposed to be there. I guarantee you he'll bring his rope. He'll be wrangling some of those little calves there. They're going to have live music, local artists, tons of local artists. So you're going to want to get down to Harvest Fest. Go ahead and put that on your calendar. It's next Saturday. It's going to be October the 17th. And you will see some Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240 personalities. Rumor has it that the adolescent will be there. That's the rumor. I'm going to do my best to verify that. Okay. The poor GOP. You know, you're talking about people in spite of themselves. That's the GOP. These poor guys, they have a golden opportunity to really take over. By the way, this just in. We just did our 4,000th tweet. That's hard to say. 4,000th tweet. Wow. That's a lot of tweeting. You know, we got this guy from, I think he's from India, that does our tweets. Does a great job. We like him. Doesn't speak a lot of English, but he can type English great. and he does some great tweets. All right, back to the GOP. I mean, everybody's all in an uproar because Representative Kevin McCarthy, startling decision to pull out of the race. What's startling about it? What is startling about it? I mean, you had Boehner that nobody liked, so they run Boehner Light, who immediately puts his foot in his mouth about Benghazi, and that's startling that he's not running. No, they don't get it. See, Americans really want to change. That's why your three front runners on the Republican side are what they say outsiders. And I mean, you know, you can say whatever, but I mean, they're not your typical politicians. You have Trump and Ben Carson, and you know, in two different ways. They're not backing down from the media. They're not being politically correct, and they're not scared. Please like me. Media, please like me. And that's the Republicans' two problem is they're scared to death of Obama for one reason and one reason only. They don't want to be called racist. That's it. Plain and simple. Cut to the BS. That's it. And they want the media to like them. Please like us. Will you please? You've liked the Democrats all these years. It's our turn. They're weak. And so they put another weak person up to run, and he has to pull out, and that's startling. The Republican Civil War has been escalating for years. No, it hadn't. There's no Civil War. You know, the conservative wing, the Tea Party, yeah, they have their problems. I'm not here to defend them, but they are more conservative than the rest of the party. The public is demanding that they be heard. That's not a civil war. All you got to do is wake up and look around and say, hey, here's what the public wants. Look what's happening in the presidential race. Look at the popularity of the candidates and what they do. Even when you get through the three non-politicians, you know, you've got anti-establishment people, Cruz, Paul, that, you know, are kind of bucking the system. I mean, you don't get to Jeb Bush to, you know, a little further down. So don't tell me they're in disarray. A startling decision. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen to the Republican Party? Wait, why don't you see any articles like this about the Democrats? I mean, Hillary is in big trouble. They're not saying they're in disarray. How about if something happens, she pulls out of the race and they're stuck with Bernie Sanders? I mean, boy, whew. I mean, how would you like that? Yeah, how'd you like to be a lifelong Democrat and a yellow dog Democrat and have to vote for Bernie Sanders? I know the young people want it because they don't want to have to work. So they want, you know, just give me. And that's what he's saying. I'm going to give you everything. And young people are lazy today. I mean, they are so lazy. Yes, I'm talking to you. You're lazy. You've been handed everything your whole life. It's time to get up off your butt and do something. You got to work. I know that and drone is a 4-letter word. But get out and work a little bit. You know? And so Bernie Sanders, yeah, he is. He's bringing in all of the young people because he's telling them they don't have to work. That mean old rich guy would work for you, and he'll work hard enough. You know the Caucasians that don't get to go to yoga class because they don't have time to go to yoga class because they're working because they've got to, you know, pay for everything else. Gosh, oh my gosh, Mr. Judd, that wasn't politically correct. You are going to be in trouble. That's okay. NASCAR is not politically correct, and we carry it too, right? NASCAR on Hot News Talk Radio. It's going to be this Sunday at 7:30. Don't forget, we do have a doubleheader, NFL doubleheader, and that's going to be the Saints versus the Eagles at 12:30, and the Patriots versus the Cowboys at 3:45. Digital Drive's coming up. I'm anxious to see how he does this with the perfume. I mean, you need to listen. I know he'll do it. I just want to see what kind of angle he's going to do it with. All right, let's leave you with some. Let's kind of finish the week on a high note here. 14 things. This is from EliteDaily.com. 14 things that you need to do, or 12 or 13 things you need to do. It says stop beating yourself up for not being your 100% best of all the time. I agree. No one is. No one can. People do get down. People need a little break. Take it, enjoy it, and then bounce back. Stop being afraid to pursue your dream. I like that one. You know, Bruce Krebs, who has the Entrepreneur Hour, be here on Wednesday. That was one of his topics last week was don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We hear that on, you know, several themes. I mean, you know, just don't be. Fear is probably it's just so enabling. Stop erasing and regretting. That's right. I mean, don't spend your time, well, I should have done this and should have done that. No, that doesn't do you any good. Move forward. Go ahead. Stop over-analyzing everything. Amen, brother. Everything's not deep. It's okay to have some surface stuff. I mean, heck, my whole show's surface stuff, and it's great. It's wonderful. People are smiling right now. They got to hear Bugs Bunny and the stripper music all in 1 hour. I mean, that's pretty surface. Is that not fun? Wee-haw. I know I'm having fun. Stop complaining about being constantly busy. Man, that's one I'd like to write that on a board and hit people in the head with it. I'm so busy. No, you're not. No, you're either one or two things. You're lazy or you don't have command of your time, or both. No one wants to hear how busy someone else is. And the people that are usually saying, I'm so busy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, they're usually not working. That's just what I found. That's just the little Mr. Judd wisdom for you today. Boy, I'm taking this positive side. I need to, all right, get my zen back. Here we go. Stop revolving your every action on what people think. Boy, man, we need to tell the Republicans that, don't we? Stop being so judgmental. You know, the only person that you can really affect in this world is yourself. I can want that person. I can want David Tulis to bring me a sandwich every day. But David Tulis is only going to bring himself a sandwich because he is the only one that's affected. If I want a sandwich, then I need to bring my own darn sandwich. Right? So I affect me. I control me. I can't really control anyone else. And if I try, man, I am going to be just so frustrated. We'll probably hit these some more on Monday. Have a great weekend. Don't forget NASCAR. Don't forget the NFL. NASCAR Saturday night, 7:30. NFL starts at 12:30. Go watch a high school football game tonight and enjoy yourself. Look, the weather is going to be a little dicey tonight, but other than that, you're going to have a great weekend. It's going to get a little cooler. It's going to feel like fall. I will be back Monday from 11 to noon, and I know this for a fact. You will be listening.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.